What's up, everybody? This is Carl from Techful Goodies, and today we have a pretty cool thing, which is a headphone roundup. So these are all been purchased off Amazon, and they're all from FiFine. Now, one of the things that I find difficult sometimes is when I'm looking at a product and a company has multiple versions of a product. In this case, FiFine has 3 different versions of their gaming headsets. And if you look at each one of them, it might get a little overwhelming as to which one you might be wanting to purchase. Now, the thing with these is that they're all budget headphones, and FiFine's goal with their budget headphones is basically budget without sacrificing quality. Now, I've used FiFine stuff for a while now. The microphone that you're actually listening to right now is a FiFine microphone. And the fact that they're affordable for people and the quality ends up being really, really good, I think is super important. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and skip the unboxing on all 3 of these things. And I'll also put the chapters down below if you want to look at each one individually and see the pros and cons for each one of the different headphones. And I'll try to make sure to sort of highlight what makes each one sort of important in whatever use case you want to use. The one thing I won't be able to do is give you a sound test on each one of these as far as your ears go, but I will try out the mics because I think one of the important things when it comes to gaming headphones is that the microphones need to sound good. So we'll try each one of them. So let's go ahead and open these up. All right, so here we go. I have each one of the user guides sitting out here so you can see them. So basically we have the H6, the H9, and the H3. The difficulty in this is making sure that there's a fine enough detail that you'll be able to choose which ones you like. So let's take a look at them right off the bat, just sort of on the surface level. So I went with white ones for this middle one here, the H9s. Stayed with black for the H3 and the H6, H3 and H6 respectively here. They do all come in the different colors that you can choose from. So the H6 here comes with just one cable, okay? So this cable in particular is a USB cable. So this is going to work through USB through your computer. And I think that generally hooking things up through USB is much better as far as the processing power on your computer. It's just running through the USB port, and the sound is much better too. The reason I say that specifically about USB is that it's not Microsoft Xbox compatible. That requires sort of headphone jack. So this particular one's really going to work across multiple platforms like PS4, your computer, anything that has sort of a USB jack to be able to provide sound, that'll work fine. And it comes with a separate microphone. So if you don't want to use the microphone, you don't have to have it on there, but if you do, it basically just plugs into the side here and it's ready to go. So the H6 here, after plugging it in, it does have RGB on the sides here if that's something you're interested in. I think maybe that the H9 does not have RGB. It's kind of like a no bling sort of setup if that's what you're interested in. Go ahead and listen to the sound here really quickly. See how high this pulls out. So I'm listening to sound right now on my computer. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, I have no, definitely no issues with that. I will do a sound test here in a little while. So as far as the features go with this has 7.1 virtual surround sound, active noise cancellation, which it doesn't look like there tends to be a button on here, so that's probably automatic for the noise cancellation. The RGB lighting on the side. And again, like I said, it's multi-platform compatible, anything with a USB, Apple, Windows, PS4, those will all accept this. Let's go ahead and do a quick little sound test here. Microphone sound test here on the H6 headphones. Okay, test. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the H6 gaming headset from FiFine. This is a microphone test. This is a raw test of the audio. No filters, no changing of the audio itself. This is what you would hear if you were using this for gaming or anything else. Again, the H6 gaming headset from FiFine. All right, so that's how these sound. And this is also considered sort of their lightest headphones in the lineup here. So then the H9 here also has a detachable mic. In this particular case, you just go ahead and plug it in like you did with the other one. And one thing to point out is that this has a headphone jack. So this is a 3.5 millimeter TRS jack, which means this particular one is compatible with the Xbox. So keep that in mind. If you want to use these for PC gaming or for PS4, that's fine. They're great, but this one will work for the Xbox also. And what they give you here is the option to have USB connection, which I think is super nice. So basically, you're able to take the TRS, plug it into the USB adapter here. You have complete controls of everything with the headphones here on the little control pad itself. And then also, this hooks up through USB and allows you to be able to use it the same way as the other ones through USB. And again, I forgot to mention that this one also has a little control pad here. The H6 has volume up, volume down, and mute, and all the same things. But with the H9, you're always going to get better sound if you use USB. The TRS jack has some limitations as opposed to USB, so that's why they give you this adapter. So let's go ahead and give these a try, see how they sound. Okay, so these are also built in pretty much very similar way. As you can see, I think they're using some of the same sort of design principles, but just giving you something that's a little bit different here with this one. So as far as the fit with this one goes, yeah, it fits good. Even over the top of my hat, that fits really good. And then the mic here is positioned well. Let's go ahead and do a sound test with this. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the H9 headset from FiFine. This is a raw audio test. There's been no modifications or adjustments to the audio. This is directly from the mic. And this is how it'll sound if you're using it through gaming or using it for any other situation. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then again, one thing to note is that the microphone pickup patterns on all these microphones here are omnidirectional, which means it's coming from any sort of direction around your mouth. You don't have to talk into a very specific spot to get the sound to come through. But these sound great. Yeah, they sound very comparable to those. I don't see a whole lot of difference as far as, audible sound goes. They are also very, very light. There's no extra buttons, no anything specific on here for turning them on or off. But I think that the main difference would be the fact that you have sort of the USB specific for this one. This one here has the TRS jack as well as the USB adapter, which I think is awesome. And then at the same time, this one does not have any RGB. So if you're looking to have in a sort of color lighting or anything like that, you're not going to get that with these. So that's just another option for you. And then we have the H3. And one thing to note is that these are a little bit more expensive than these two. Not that much more expensive, but this H3 right here has a little bit of a different design. Again, this one comes with the add-on mic, so you can use it or not. Well, I think that's pretty important too, because some people don't want to use the mic. Some people don't want to have it hanging off of the microphone. As you can see, the way these set and the way these are on your head here, Damon. And we'll plug these in. And the one thing to note is the way that they've done this one, I think is pretty interesting, is that they give you both a USB cable connector and a TRS headphone jack. So that means it will work for Xbox, PlayStation, Windows, Mac, all that kind of stuff. But they also give you an additional splitter here, okay? So this can come off directly off of the TRS jack, and what it does is it gives you both a headphone and an audio jack to be able to split those if you have a setup on your computer that has two different inputs for, a lot of times the computer will have one input that handles both the headphone volume out as well as the microphone. In this particular case, some computers will have a separate one, audio out and then microphone in, and that gives you the ability to very specifically have that split off. But if you don't want that, let's say you're using an Xbox, you have the one specific thing that'll plug into your controller, and that will give you the ability to have just one for both things. So let's go ahead and plug this in, take a look at the RGB, and then try out the do a sound test. Yep, so it has similar RGB here on the side, as you can see, which I think is pretty nice. But I think the main difference between this is that if you look at the way these are kind of laid out, these ones have a little wider of a headband going across the top, where these don't and these don't. And you can see the difference when I put them on. As far as the sound, they sound awesome. They sound great. I have absolutely no problem with this. Let's do a microphone sound check. Okay, this is the H3 headset by FiFine. This is a raw test of the microphone. This is what you would hear if you were using it for gaming or for anything else. This hasn't been edited any way. This is a test of the FiFine H3 microphone test. And then again, also, if you take a look here, they have a volume up and volume down. This is more of a manual as opposed to the sort of clicky buttons from the other ones, and a mute button. So it has some inline controls, but not as much as the H9 here. Each one of them has braided cables to help sort of keep your cables lasting for a long time. And so across the board, these are 3 quality set of headphones. It's sort of difficult for me to sit here and preach at you exactly which ones you should purchase. So what I've tried to do is kind of highlight some of the differences between them. The price differences, again, this is maybe $7 or $8 more. So if you like the H9, the H6 as opposed to the 9 or the 3, it's just the different type of functionality that you might want. And then you heard the microphone tests. You can make a decision on which one you feel had the best microphone sound. But other than that, this is a great offering from FiFine. Thank you so much to them for sending this over. I love to be able to share this with you. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If this helped, give me a like, give me a subscribe. I'm a tech guy. I got a tech desk. I always invite people here to take a look at cool stuff. So I'd love to see you back. But until next time, this is Carl from Techful Goodies, and I'm out.